as we all know that twin flame is a divine connection, we are now sensing the experience how meeting divine counterpart can give you this amazing sense of love and freedom. You are free to do what you want. You are free to create what you want along with that amazing divine partnership. Yes, it could also involve romantic feelings, but as I always say, a twin flame union is not about putting into some sort of a template. We are breaking out of the template. We are not making a new template. We are not making a new template. A fish who is trying to jump out of the small pot should not land up in another small pot, right? But the twin flame community who is trying to forcefully end their marriage just to be with their twin flame are just these fish who are trying to jump out of their current pot and wanting to jump into another small pot. So you are just jumping one pot to another pot. But a twin flame connection or a twin flame experience is supposed to free you from the life that you're living in the pot and break you free into the ocean. This is what exactly explains what I'm trying to say, that there is a difference between breaking out of your marriage and getting into another marriage and breaking out of the template of marriage. All those people who are also in the state of being single or somewhere, that they feel that they will be in union in the future with their twin flame, also need to ponder upon this in a very keen way, that whatever you are anticipating as a union with your twin flame, are you really anticipating a very freedom based divine experience that completely transcends everything that you were living so far in terms of your conditioning and belief systems? Or you are still holding those old belief systems where you are imagining all the old traditional stuff in the traditional template and you're looking forward to do all that traditional stuff with your twin flame? That this is something very important for those who are kind of in the state of expecting a twin flame union in the near future. Namaste everyone, welcome back to my channel Awaken with Pradnyaa. Today I'm making this very impromptu type of a video because so many days I have been thinking that I am going to talk about this specific topic because there is so much of confusion and misunderstanding when it comes to breaking out of marriage and breaking out of marriage template. And I feel that it is absolutely important to understand this and get clarity on what we are doing as twin flames or as light workers here in the current timeline through our experience. So first I want to talk about what are templates. I usually use this word in my vocabulary that we are in the relationship template or we are in the marriage template. What is a template actually? So in a brief or in a simple manner, I would explain it as the way of living that the society has created. So we create a certain way of living and we kind of templatize it, that this is the way we have to live. And there are different types of templates and there are different types of sub templates. The biggest template is a gender template. There are certain belief systems that we hold when it comes to a specific gender, that a female should not do this or female cannot do this, or a female has to behave in a certain way and she has certain responsibilities and certain things are expected from a female. What type of education or what type of work a female should do, what she should overall do in her life. And we also hold certain templates when it comes to masculine, when it comes to a male gender, that what a male should do. They should carry the whole responsibility of their family and so on. So the biggest template that we carry as human beings is a gender template. And I think people who are going through the transgender experience or a gay or lesbian experience, those are the souls who have come here in incarnation to break out of those templates, that and they are discovering themselves through this experience of having some sort of a experience that is outside the conventional template of male and female. So by now probably you are understanding when I say having a template, what does that actually mean? We also have templates in a relationship. How does a relationship should look like? If it is a live-in relationship, how should it work? If it is a marriage, how should it work? If it is a courtship, how does it work? Every relationship has some sort of an unsaid rule book, some sort of a behavioral do's and don'ts type of a list that everybody expects in that specific template. Even when it comes to a template of love, what does love mean to you? So most of the people, most of the society associate love with a relationship template. So ultimately, the love is also pushed into some sort of a template that if all these things are being fulfilled, that means this is true love. There is definitely a certain specific template set in people's mind also when it comes to love and how what to expect, what not to expect, how should the person be and behave when they are in love. Apart from love and relationships, there are other types of relationship templates like friends. You know what to expect and what not to expect in a friendship. There is a relationship template of parents and their kids. Overall, all of us are living our lives through these templates. And if anything that happens outside of these templates, most of our conditioning will be challenged, our ego will be challenged, or our belief system will be challenged. Most of the people in the society would judge somebody who starts behaving outside these templates, or they will show some sort of a non acceptance. In extreme cases, some people will be boycotted because they went outside of that certain societal template. There is also a religious template. There is also this template of being on a spiritual path, so a template of monkhood. When it comes to the societal living, there is this set of templates: the template of marriage, a template of monkhood, where you choose to be celibate and walk on your spiritual path. So everything, even if it is a spiritual path, the society has created certain templates. I specifically want to talk about a template of marriage. If you really want to idealize the template of marriage, yes, it is supposed to be an amazing bond with your soulmate and a great companionship and amazing love connection that you cherish. And yes, there are some people where we see that sort of a amazing bond and amazing connection between two soulmates, and they have amazing married life with each other, and that's a great thing. But if you really go deeper in the constitution of marriage or a template of marriage, it is based on give and take, right? Anybody who is married to somebody has some sort of expectation from their spouse, and the spouse also has some sort of expectation from you. So the template of marriage or the constitution of marriage is based on give and take. There are certain duties, there are certain responsibilities. You are making babies with each other. You are financially entangled with each other. There is an extended family, and you are carrying forward some duties towards your extended family. If by any chance, if you are not able to fulfill whatever is supposed to be done by you in this specific template, there will be some problems that will start. Those challenges, if they go really to the extreme scenario, the marriage will end. So it is possible that you get into a marriage, but because of some issues or problems, your marriage ends. There are so many divorces because people are not able to connect with each other, or there is some sort of a betrayal, disloyalty, or toxicity, or abuse. Some or the other things are definitely there, which happen in terms of marriages, and marriages end. So it is very clear that it's a denser template of a relationship where it is based on karma, it is based on give and take. Apart from the duty and give and take, another thing that is really out there in that template is the expectation that your spouse will be loyal to you mentally, emotionally, and sexually. And yes, there is nothing wrong in expecting that. But because these expectations are there, the most society has made some rules when it comes to a constitution of marriage, that what should be done, what should not be done, what is accepted and what is not accepted. You really ask this question, the basic need, why this need of making such a rule even exists in this constitution of marriage, that you have to really make this rule that all the two people who are being married to each other are supposed to be loyal. to each other. You feel this need because somewhere deep down in your heart, you are having this fear that this person is going to betray you, this person will leave you someday. You don't feel secure with that person, and that's why you feel the need to make a room. So the whole society and this whole constitution of marriage is based on fear and insecurity. And that is why you feel the need to make these rules in the first place. Because you have created the template of marriage in such a way that is based on fear and insecurity, it is vibrating in the denser consciousness. It is definitely not based on true love. How many married couples actually feel that 100% true love, true freedom to do and say and create what they really want from their heart while being in a marriage? There will be very few. I'm not saying that nobody is able to do that. There are some. But overall, if you see, most of the society is binding each other, binding their spouses down in a certain commitment, in a certain contract, out of their fear and insecurity. So the whole constitution or the whole template of marriage is based on fear and insecurity. If you really see in the current timeline on this planet Earth. Now, keep the constitution of marriage or a template of marriage aside for a while, and let's talk about a twin flame connection. When you meet your twin flame and when you suddenly start feeling this bliss and love for this person, you completely get confused because you haven't ever experienced something like this ever before. It completely puts you in the state of bliss and some sort of a divinity, and you don't understand what is happening to you. And then slowly your heart activates and you start understanding it, awakening. And then you realize that this is some sort of a absolute divine love that you never ever experienced. So the twin flame experience starts pulling you out of all the notions that you had about love and how the love should be and how it should look like, all the conventional matrix or or all the conventional concepts of relationships that you had while being in the societal template of love and relationship. The twin flame experience starts pulling you out of whatever thoughts or belief systems you had around love and relationships. Start understanding that there is something beyond than what you actually thought love was all about, or there is something really more to your existence or this life. And you start seeing more things when you encounter your twin flame. So basically, what is happening is you are going through this transitional process of pulling yourself out of the template of marriage or the template of love and relationship because you see something completely out of the world you have never ever imagined. And you are confused because somewhere consciously or subconsciously you are trying to figure it out what this whole thing is about. And you are kind of trying to fit this experience into something because as a human being, you are conditioned or you are always taught to fit everything into a damn template. So when you meet your twin flame, it doesn't quite fit in any sort of a template. It doesn't fit into a friendship template. It doesn't fit into a boyfriend girlfriend template. It doesn't fit into a marriage template. It doesn't fit into any damn template. And then your ego starts struggling. You start getting confused. And and that's where you stand at what the hell is happening to me. I don't know. I'm so confused. What is this? And then you slowly start awakening to this connection and you understand that, oh, this is some sort of a spiritual connection and this is some sort of a spiritual journey. As we are all now awakening on our spiritual journey, we know that we are carrying some sort of a mission or some purpose as volunteers, as twin flame here in the current timeline. One of a very, very important mission of light workers or twin flames as volunteers is breaking out of the matrix, right? Like whatever the third dimensional consciousness is, we are breaking out of that third dimensional consciousness and starting to vibrate at a higher level of awareness. So if we really want to start vibrating in a higher level of awareness, we have to break out of these denser templates that pin us down into insecurity and fear. We are here to break out of those insecurities and fears, and we need to start tapping into the vibration of love and the vibration of freedom. Now, set the twin flame connection and the experience also aside and look at the catch that everybody is confused with. We see it on so many YouTube channels or even on the internet that if you want to be in union with your twin flame, you have to break your marriage and you have to be with your twin flame because that's how the union happens. This is where I really want to put the focus on in this video because this is where people are getting confused and misguided by a lot of clueless people who are teaching about it. This particular belief system is still keeping you in the template of marriage because your whole thinking, the way you are thinking is, I have to end my marriage so that I can be in a relationship with my twin flame. So this whole thing is still not breaking you out of the conditioning. First, you have to understand the difference between breaking out of marriage and breaking out of the marriage template. When you say that I'm breaking out of my marriage, that means you decide to terminate your marriage because you don't get along with your husband or your wife, or there is some sort of a negative reason, abuse, toxicity, something that doesn't work, and that's why you decide to get out of your marriage. Getting out of marriage is terminating the contract of marriage and moving on and being again getting yourself a single status. That I would call as getting out of marriage. When it comes to getting out of a template of marriage, what does that mean? And this is the most important thing I want to say. When you are breaking out of the template of marriage, that means you or your awareness is not anymore operating from the societal parameters or limitations or fears or insecurity that the marriage is impounding on you, even when you are in marriage. Are you being governed by the marriage fears in your life, or are you standing by your own truth? That is the question that you need to ask. I can give my example for your easy understanding. I was never guided by my spirit guides to break out of my marriage. So I stayed in my marriage. And I'm not saying that everybody is going to receive the same guidance. There may be some people who will receive the guidance to get out of their marriage for whatever reason of their own soul journey. In my case, I was never guided to break out of my marriage. However, I was successfully out. I was absolutely successful in breaking out of the marriage template because when I went through this experience and I started growing in my spiritual journey and I realized certain things, first, I embraced this journey without guilt. I was not restricting myself or I was not running from this connection by thinking that, oh, I am a married person, I'm a wife of somebody, and this is right, this is wrong. I completely broke through those limitations and that conditioning that was a kind of template that I was holding on to because I was a married person. I was able to break through those limitations. I was able to break through those fears. And I stood at a point where I knew that I am a very genuine person. I am a very integrated person. I choose to stand by my own truths. And I don't hold any guilt, any shame, any if and but when I accept my twin flame and the love I have for them without any if and but. And I hold them with grace and love in my heart. This was breaking out of the marriage template, even while being married. Second thing, I became very transparent with my husband. I shared my journey with him without any guilt. Somehow I paved through whatever challenges came into my marriage because I shared my experiences with my marriage. And I still stood strong in everything what I did in this journey with all the faith and belief in the divine. And somehow I managed to make my husband understand and he understood. And today he very well supports me on my journey. This was definitely breaking out of the marriage template. I'm not holding any fears that would probably be there in somebody's heart if they're married. What if my spouse finds out? What if my family finds something out about what I'm going through? What if my in laws come to know? And many a times it is not even about other people. It is about your own inner fears, your own guilt, your own conditioning that you have to overcome. All these YouTube videos that I'm doing publicly, all the answers that I'm writing on Quora, or the one-to-one sessions I'm doing, everything that I'm doing in my life, eventually I have come to a place where my inner life and my outer life is the same. I don't have to live a double life. I don't have to hide my truth from the outside world, including my family, including my friends, including my husband. Even when you are married, and even when you are having a spouse and you are having some sort of a soulmate connection or a karmic contract with somebody, you need to respect that. You need to understand that there is a big significance why you are married to a specific person, and there is something which may be serving you there positively or negatively in whatever way. Either it is a karmic entanglement or there is some sort of a soul lesson. Something is there, and I am able to respect that. At the same time, I am able to hold my soul truth in my heart. That is what is breaking out of the marriage template. And when I say that I break out of the template of marriage, you will see a template of marriage is also improving a lot. There are so many people whose spouses are agreeing and understanding and acknowledging and accommodating their twin flame connection. I meet so many people who say, I told my spouse and they are completely understanding, they are completely fine with it. So we as a collective, not just twin flames, but also our soulmates, are understanding this fact, and even the template of marriage is improving. It is getting a little bit loosened up, and there is a lot of tolerance, there is a lot of acceptance, there is a lot of openness. All these things have started coming in the template of marriage as well, and I think that is the greatest change we should look for in the coming years. So I hope that by now you have understood what I mean when I say breaking relationship templates or breaking a template of marriage. If you are holding any sort of a guilt because you have met your twin flame and you are married, if you are holding any sort of a fear because of the societal pressure, if you are holding any sort of a shame in your heart because you feel love for your twin flame, even after being married to somebody, if you are still navigating this dynamic by some sort of a moral compass, and you feel that holding this love for your twin flame is some sort of an extramarital affair, if you are refraining from connecting with your twin flame because you are married or because they are married, there are some people I know who already broken out of this need to be married to their twin flame. Their understanding has gone much deeper, and that's a great thing. If at all you are still holding this need to be married to your twin flame because somewhere you seek some sort of a societal acceptance, then it is evident that you are still operating from the template of marriage. You are still holding third dimensional consciousness and the societal fears that control you. I hope you understood that breaking a template of marriage is not just about ending your marriage contract, but it is about expanding your inner awareness. There is a huge difference between breaking out of your current marriage and remarrying your twin flame and say that you are in union, and being a light worker, holding this spiritual understanding in your heart, facing the consequences, facing the challenges, and breaking the template of marriage on this planet. There is something way more amazing, unimaginable, and different when it comes to twin flame union. And for that, you really need to jump into the ocean and not in another small pot. And with this thought, I will end this video. See you in the next video.